Welcome back! I really need some kind of an intro or like a greeting or something like that. I have to think about it. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'm back. I know it's been like a couple of weeks since my last video, and some of you actually, sent messages asking when is the next video gonna come out, and yeah, well, actually no one did. I mean, yeah, one person did, but I think he was just being polite. Anyway, here I am, I'm back, yeah. First I must say, there really is a good reason why I was away for this long. I think the reason also have a name, and it's called post-vacation depression.
Guilty. Not only about your son, but about what I said to you. I judged you. I did. I wrote about you being this incredible feminist because I truly believe that. And then I treated you like a stripper.
But I'm back, I mean, yeah, I guess it is kind of hard when you come back from vacation, especially if you're coming back from like some cool place like, this, and wow, the sound here, it's amazing. But here we are. Welcome. When you decide to buy your first camera, if on a budget, you will have to choose between new entry-level DSLR or slightly better but used camera. Keep in mind that at some point you will probably outgrow your camera and will think of an upgrade. That being said, you should know some things before you go on and buy your first camera. Now, first, do your research. DSLR cameras can mostly be divided in two groups. First, it's professional cameras, and in second are consumer or prosumer cameras. Professional cameras have better build, and they are meant to be used a lot in all kinds of weathers, all kinds of conditions, and they are made to take some beating. They're mostly built out of aluminum alloy, and most of them will probably have like weather sealing, so they can be used like everywhere. On the other hand, consumer and most of the prosumer cameras, they're made of plastic, and they're really not meant to be used like, stormy day. So yeah, that's one thing. And professional cameras, they have built in all kinds of latest and greatest technological goodies. Like they will have like best in the class autofocus, and they will be able to shoot like 20 frames per second in burst mode. Like that's something that's really important to someone like sports photographers. They will have like multiple card slots, so you are sure that you are not gonna lose your footage and your pictures. Now, although some of the prosumer cameras can also have a bunch of those stuff, that will significantly affect the overall price. But the main difference and the main deal breaker is the size of the image sensor. Now, if you are doing your research and if you're already looking into buying some DSLR cameras, then you probably, or you should know that the image size has nothing to do with the number of megapixels. The size of the image sensor is literally that, it's the physical size. And they come in DSLRs, they come in a couple of different sizes. Every professional camera comes with a full frame image sensor. It's a 35mm sensor, but actually it's 36 by 24. And it's the actual size of the film that was used in old days in cameras, so it's the same size as the film back then. On the other hand, consumer and prosumer cameras most of the time come with crop image sensor. A crop image sensor is called that simply because it's cropped to a smaller size than the full-frame image sensor. And in most of the actually every situation, among other things, it will produce a cropped image if used with the same lens as on the full-frame camera. Canon APS-C sensor is 1.6 times smaller than the full frame, and Nikon's APS-C sensor is 1.5 times smaller than the full frame, or we should say it has a crop factor of 1.5. The rule of thumb here is that the full frame sensor will, if everything else is the same, it will mostly outperform the cropped image sensor, especially in low light situations, because simply it has bigger surface on which the light can drop, and it has bigger photosites, the small pixels that actually capture the light. There are also other advantages of the full frame sensor, but that's the topic for itself, and maybe I will cover it sometimes later. Now back to the question: how should you choose your first camera, your first DSLR? Well, it depends on a lot of factors. If you are just starting the photography and you don't really know what kind of photography you're gonna do, and especially if you are on a strict budget, then don't get caught up in like latest and greatest technology built in the cameras, super fast autofocus and I don't know, like burst mode with 20 frames per second and stuff like that. Now, trust me, better save some money on buying camera and use that money to buy better lenses, better glass, and trust me, you're gonna thank me later. When I was buying my camera, because of my strict budget, I could go with buying new, but one of the cheapest entry-level DSLRs, or I could go on and try to find and buy a used one but slightly better. I went for the new camera, and I ended up with this. It's the Canon EOS 2000D, or it's the Rebel T7, how it's called in the USA. I don't know why they have different names, but that's what it is. Basically, it's one of the cheapest DSLRs out there, and it comes with really modest stuff built in. Like it doesn't have the fast autofocus, it's not very good for shooting videos, it's stuff like that. In burst mode I think it can take like 3 or 4 shots, I think, something like that. And it cost me somewhere around 400 bucks. Now, in good conditions, if you take a photo with this camera and a full frame camera, you really you will struggle to actually notice the difference, because I mean, it's really decent camera, it can take really decent pictures. It came with a kit lens, it's 18 to 55 millimeters, and I must say, although in the last 7 months I bought 3 more lenses for this camera, I somehow end up still using this lens most of the times, because it's really very versatile. It covers like really decent range, like the 18 to 55, it covers like landscape photography, and it can be used for portraits and stuff like that. So it's really good lens for that money. I mean, you practically got it like, I don't know how much it can cost, like in 30 bucks when you buy it in a kit. So yeah. And those 3 lenses that I bought, they got me now in a place where I have every focal length covered between 10 millimeters and 250 millimeters, which is awesome. And if I actually went for the $1,000 camera instead of this one for 400, I wouldn't be able to actually buy all of those lenses and have all of those focal lengths, which gives me like it gives me the opportunity to shoot everything, like landscapes, even some macro photography, and awesome close-up shots with that 250 millimeters, you know. So yeah, that's something really to think about. And I guess at the end there's only one thing to say. When you look at it, it's not the camera, not the gear that you have that's gonna give you like a better photo. It's the person behind the camera. So yeah, focus on learning photography and doing photography. That's the biggest thing, I think, is to actually go out and take photos with what you have. It will overall be you know, very good for you, and it will help you become a better photographer. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's about it for me. And yeah, now here comes some photos that I took in the last couple of weeks, and I must say none of these were actually taken during my post-vacation depression time. So yeah, I still have to actually make myself go out and take some photos, but hopefully it will happen in the next couple of days. So yeah, see you around. Bye.